this is Shadow the Rat, and in this video I'm going to go over some of the things you can do to make playtime more fun for your rats. So the two most common questions I get on my playpen videos are about the two extremes of either introducing your rat to the free range area, as in like the rats are scared to explore, or on the other hand keeping the rats occupied so they don't get bored and so they really enjoy their free range. So the biggest piece of advice I would give anyone who wants to start free ranging with their rats is to include a lot of hides and things for them to basically take cover in. Now I know that when you first start free ranging them, you might think it's better to have less hides and stuff because you want to encourage them to explore. However, the thing is that rats are very prey-based animals, and because of this, they're not going to like new open spaces. And this means that if you add more enclosures and tubes and anything that can make the rats feel like they are under something and that they are away from the open space, then they're going to feel a lot more confident in exploring, and you're going to find that they tend to adjust much quicker to any new area if they have lots of places to hide. So that's definitely something you want to look into, lots of toys. And when you think of these toys, you also want to keep them varied. So for example, one of the things that my rats really enjoy having in their playpen is this tower. So right now you're seeing a video of me building the tower. It's just two chairs connected with a Critter Nation ramp. And then on one side I have this box which is filled with some blankets, and this is where Barry and the other rats sometimes like to sleep. And then next to that I have another box on top of the chair that basically covers the ramp going between the two chairs. And then I have their travel cage in front of that has a ladder going up it, just so they can get down from the tower or go up as they please. So this is just a really nice thing to have in the playpen or any free range area really, because I found that rats really like to have the option to go up. It's really interesting considering that rats are naturally more of a burrowing animal. However, I've noticed with all of my fancies that they actually like to climb quite a bit, and they will often resort to climbing when they are scared or anything like that. So yeah, it's really nice to have something for them to climb, and this gives them something else to do and just adds a little variety to playtime. Now if you can get your hands on a cat tree, these things are also excellent for rats. Now the only problem here is that of course these are made out of carpet, which means that when your rats mark them, and they will do this at some point just because that's what rats do, you're going to need to figure out how to wash it. You're probably only going to be able to wipe it down, but if it's anything like my carpet here in the house, then it won't really get too smelly as long as they're just marking it. And you can just wipe it down with various pet cleaning solutions as long as you make sure they're safe for rats, like I have my Nature's Miracle. And something else that you can try is to take a handful of Cheerios like this, just scatter them around. And I just do a few. And this encourages the rats to really explore, look in new places. Even if they've been there before, everything's more exciting once it has food in it. Now another thing you can have in there is a digging box. I don't really have a digging box to show as an example right now, but I will be having a clip on screen of when I had some eco-friendly dissolvable packing peanuts, and these things are safe for them to eat. They're not made of styrofoam, they're actually made of cornstarch, and because of this they were just really fun for the rats to dig through. If I had put some treats in there, they probably would have enjoyed foraging for them. People will also use things like soil digging boxes, but I've never done this personally. I'm sure it's lots of fun for the rats though. I've seen people plant like rat-safe plants as well, which has to be really fun for the rats to dig up and eat. Otherwise, something else you can try is making a fishing area, and basically what this entails is that you're going to take a shallow dish and place some treats inside of it, or stones or whatever, and then cover it with some water. And it's really helpful if you place some treats in there, especially when your rats are first starting out, just to encourage them to really forage around in there, get a little wet. This is perfect for in the summertime when it's hot outside. I know right now it's summer here, so I'm having my girls learn to forage in the water and learn to fish things out. Now it's interesting because in the past I actually worked on this over a whole summer, and I gradually built up more and more water each time I brought it out. And by the end of the summer, and at this point I had Shadow and Sonic, but by the end of the summer the girls were diving down quite a bit to go get the peas. Like they were swimming completely, which was really cool. So that's what I'm planning on doing with Cookie and Cream especially, but also possibly Berry if she wants to join in. So this is a great way to let them forage some. It also tests them a little bit because they have to figure out how exactly do I get to them. They can't smell the treats, so they have to figure out how to go underwater and get things without being able to see them, without being able to smell them. And it's just a bit of a challenge. It adds a little bit more stuff to do. And I find that this really helps to occupy my girls for quite a bit of time, especially since I'm slowly adding more and more water. So each time they do some treat fishing again, they're going to find that they need to work a little bit harder to get to what they want. Other than that, I also tend to scatter some plastic items around for the rats to chew. I know this sounds really weird, but my rats, and I'm sure other people's rats as well, really like to chew on plastic, and since they don't swallow it, it's safe for them. So I will usually save some of my plastic water bottles, and once in a while I'll give them one of those during playtime. Another thing I often have in the playpen is just a mini tennis ball that the rats really like to chew up. They won't eat it again, so it's safe for them to just chew and enjoy and play with. And another thing I sometimes include that I don't really have at the moment, but I'll probably order some in the future, are these things called Eco Cheese Chews. So the rats can actually eat them, which is why they love them so much. And I'll buy one of these once in a while and just let the rats have one or two, usually two because they tend to fight over them, and they can just chew these up and eat them and do whatever they want with them. I notice that sometimes they'll eat it, sometimes they'll chew and spit it out, but either way it's safe for them, and they enjoy hoarding these and chewing them up and all that sort of stuff. And then of course you also have the whole point of free range, which is to interact with your rats. So again, you can play with them. You can see in this clip I'm using a plastic straw, but I've also used things like corks on a string. Rats really like to chew up corks, or just a string itself, or even a cat toy, because rats really like to chase things on the ground if you move them around. And you can also try hand wrestling and other stuff with them. And then of course, if you watch my channel, you know that I train my rats. And this is also something you can do in the free range area that's a lot of fun, and that I find a lot of rats like to do. And then finally, there's other stuff like cuddling with your rats, or just playing tag, or whatever you can think of doing with them, anything that has you engaging with them in an active way. So yeah, that's really all I can think of right now, but if you guys have any other ideas for how you can keep your rats engaged during playtime, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. Hopefully this video gave you some ideas for what you can do to keep your rats engaged. And other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!